Times are tough out there, and we all feel the pinch at the grocery store and gas station. At Fire and Ice, we understand how challenging this can be. We know how important it is to keep your family comfortable. Let us help. For a limited time only, Fire and Ice is offering a 20% discount on all HVAC equipment and water heaters, or 0% financing for up to 72 months. Schedule your free estimate online today at indoortemp.com/20. That's indoortemp.com/20. Fire and Ice. Real life, real comfort.
Are you looking for a Columbus car dealership built on tradition and trust? Byers Auto has been family owned and operated since 1897, evolving from horse-drawn carriages to the horsepower of today's leading vehicles. We're known for our new cars, but we also offer an extensive inventory of pre-owned vehicles that meet our rigorous standards. And with that comes peace of mind. Discover the value of a Byers pre-owned vehicle. Visit us in person or shop online at byersauto.com. Come see why it's better to buy at Byers.
Right. I'm ready for this.
Ready when you are.
Are we recording already?
Yes.
Jesus Christ. These are always fun to go back and listen to, but then I'm also like, where do we start?
This week we sample hard ciders from the great state of Michigan. This is episode 148 of the Malting Hour.
What's the haps on the hops? Got yeast and speeds. This the Malting Hour where we talk about our drink and tell you what we think every other week. And if we get drunk, well, we might slur our speech. Got the gift of gab, the friends you wish you had. Join us for a drink, join us for a laugh. Time is never wasted, where you getting wasted. The Malting Hour here, people take your places. People take your places. People take your home.
Welcome to the Malting Hour. I am one of your hosts, Tony Golick, joined always with
Brandon Winninger.
Brandon. How you doing, buddy?
Good, man. How are you?
Pretty good. I like that you have a Nightmare on Elm Street on. They are celebrating 40 years, which means I'm younger than a Nightmare on Elm Street? No, wait. I'm older than a Nightmare on Elm Street. Yeah. This came out when I was 2?
Probably.
I thought it came out later than that, like 87 or something like that.
Yeah, I don't know. We were at Six Flags yesterday, and they had they have a Saw like haunted house that they're doing, and I saw it said Saw's 20th anniversary or something like that, and I was like, really?
It makes sense. There's like 100 Saw films.
Yeah, and I will say I've never seen a single one.
Seriously?
Yep.
Not even the first one?
I don't think so.
Dude, you gotta see at least the first one.
Well, I know. It's not that I've been avoiding it.
Should have put it on.
Just never. I don't know if it was streaming.
We're not gonna do that now.
If it was, I don't know. But yeah, I don't know if I've. And again, if I was gonna watch it, like this is not
the time.
I like playing the ones that we've seen before, just running in the background.
She ripped off Freddy's face.
Yeah. Oh, and that too. Speaking of that, like, did you watch the thing I sent you? A thing about Robert Englund today. I sent you a TikTok.
Oh, I haven't watched that one yet.
Yeah.
I watched the thing about the Michael Myers mask where they were trying to.
Yeah. Oh, that was cool.
That was awesome.
But there was a TikTok about Robert Englund talking about like his whole process of getting in the face and stuff like that, and then like one day he got super hungry and decided to just go across the street with like the crew, and like somebody flipped out. It's pretty funny.
Was that during the first one or like after they had done?
I don't know.
That's hilarious.
But he's like, somebody was there and did not know what was going on and just lost their shit.
I saw that there was an interview with somebody else, like someone from the first one. They were talking about like the legacy of it, and that the only way, it wasn't in the interview, but I read something else, that the only way he would play Freddy again would be like a really well-made, like animated, like Nightmare on Elm Street.
Huh.
Which I don't know how that would work. How would like an animated Nightmare on Elm Street work, or any horror movie work as animated? He says he can't move as fast as he used to. Still do the voice.
I think it just means write a bigger check.
If you want me to do all this, I need more money.
Because I'm not going to be around much longer to spend it. So
I want to spend it all now.
No, maybe I mean, I don't know much about Robert Englund. I don't know about
he's been in a ton.
I'm talking about like if he's got like a wife or kids, family, grandkids, whatever. Like maybe he's got to leave a nest egg.
Welcome to the Robert Englund podcast. No, we're not talking about that anymore. Brandon, guess where I went?
Michigan.
I went back to Michigan. I know, it's crazy. This is like the 30th Michigan episode. But what was the difference is that I came back with cider. Nice. 3 ciders and 1 beer.
Nice.
So I'm pretty excited. I only tried one. of the ciders. I tried it last night, one of the hard ciders from one of the apple orchards I went to. The first one they were having is an orchard, but it's not a you-pick. They pick all the apples. They have honey. They do their own wine, and then they've got cider, hard cider.
Okay.
I think that's it. It was cool. It was a nice spot. It was a beautiful day. Was a little disappointed that I didn't figure out that I could pick the apples. Like the way that it looked.
What are you gonna do?
On the website, they showed like what apples were available. So I was like, oh, I didn't even think to like look into it.
Yeah, I don't understand why like places wouldn't do you pick. But.
So when we were talking with the owners, they were very nice older couple. The maintenance of it, the manpower that you need, and like not having people like break their necks going for apples is what she said. Which I was like, well, there's a ton of other orchards where people are not breaking their necks.
But it's probably a liability insurance you got to get.
And, they had a ton of apples there, and the main focus was the wine and the hard ciders that they had. So, did a flight of the fruit wines. Nothing there is sweet, except for the regular cider.
Okay.
Everything else is pretty dry. And as you can tell, because I saw you took a sip from this, like... This is pretty much like how the hard cider was and how the wines were, which was interesting because I tried a cherry wine, a pear wine, and a peach wine.
Okay.
I bought a bottle of the cherry wine.
Nice.
And the gentleman whose name I don't remember, he says that it's best to pour over ice and read a book while you're sitting by the lake. And I was like, it's interesting. So he poured me a little sample with ice. I'm like, dude, you are getting wrecked because this is too easy to drink with ice. So I will not be doing it with ice, especially because it's a red wine, but it's really good. And the name of the place is Diamond Lake Orchard. It's in Cassopolis, Michigan. I think it's just right there or right outside of there. That's where I was staying. Their hard ciders are not carbonated. Not sure why. Didn't get a chance to really talk about that. But the 3 hard ciders that they had was a regular apple cider, cinnamon, and cherry.
Okay.
Tried the cherry. Cherry was great. We are having apparently what is the most popular hard cider that they sell, which is the cinnamon. What do you think about it?
I get the cinnamon. I get the apple. But it's kind of watery to me.
Like thin or
very, very thin. And a little bit flavor-wise. I don't know.
I get a lot of apple juice.
Yeah. I mean, it's more like apple juice than anything else.
Yeah.
But I'm getting hints of cinnamon. When I smelt it, I said it smelled like apple pie.
And whoever smelt it, dealt it.
And
sorry.
So the flavor is not consistent with the aroma for me.
I agree. Aroma-wise, the cinnamon is like very much in your face.
Yeah.
In a good way. It's not like,
oh
man, it's too much. But then... It's more of like a cinnamon apple juice.
Yep.
I'm not mad about it, though.
No. Is there an ABV on it or no?
I'm going to hand you the bottle because, again, I've not brought my glasses.
6%.
Okay. Well,
that's surprising.
Yeah, it doesn't drink like a 6% cider.
Yeah.
It's. I think the other thing is that, also, this is not sweet. It's more on the dry side.
Yeah.
I think what would complement this is carbonation.
Indeed.
I think it would help make this into a real solid cider.
Yeah.
'Cause I've never had a non-carbonated hard cider.
Neither have I. I mean, it's interesting.
Yeah. I feel like if I put this over ice, suddenly now you have like a drink. Maybe use this for a cocktail.
Yeah.
Remember
mixing this with some bourbon or...
I was going to say, remember for the Halloween party where you made... He's got bourbon, folks. We're going to do it. When I had the Halloween party, you made your cider, your hard cider.
Yep.
And then you also brought over a bottle of Fireball.
Yep.
Clark's wife enjoyed those a lot. Maybe too much. But that was great. It was that was fantastic. I'm wondering... People might like it just like this. And I'm wondering... I have 3 more of these. And maybe I might... He's getting the bourbon. I might... use this for cocktails or something, because I don't think it's a bad idea. It's okay. A little splash of bourbon in there. I want to know what you think.
I'll let you know if it's good.
Yeah, you tell me first, and then I'll come over there. He's using Jim Beam Kentucky Straight Bourbon whiskey. He takes a sip. He swishes it around.
You know what?
He looks back at me.
It's weird. Like, it dilutes it. It doesn't make it any better. It doesn't make it any worse.
Interesting. What do you mean dilutes it? Like the bourbon takes over?
Yeah. But, like, both are diluted. Like, both are very diluted. Just put a splash in.
I saw how much you put in there. I'm going to fill up the entire glut.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's
like
a little more. But yeah, it's... Make sure you swirl it.
Yeah.
But I can smell the...
Yeah, I actually... Now it smells like an oaked apple pie.
You're getting like bourbon and like whatever, but I feel like everything is
I see
muted.
what you're saying.
Everything's muted.
That's weird.
Yeah.
I'm not opposed to it, though.
No, and I didn't expect that.
I wonder... You know what I want to do? And what I'm going to do is maybe make an old-fashioned with one of these.
Oh, that's a good idea.
And maybe like, I don't know, some type of... Because it's not sweet, so I can still use some type of like simple syrup or sugar or something.
Yeah.
I'm wondering if like... I'm sure there's like a cinnamon simple syrup recipe. Like,
oh, yeah.
That might be really good.
Yeah.
It is interesting. Like, I was expecting more flavor.
Yeah.
I think carbonation would help this, though. I think that would make this like
that's truly what it's missing.
Now, as I sip this, I wish there was a couple ice cubes in here because now I feel like I'm drinking a cocktail without any ice.
Yeah, there you go.
Because the bourbon now is kind of like giving like a slow burn down the chest here. I think I might like it more with bourbon.
It's definitely better with the bourbon.
So this is from
Diamond Lake Orchard.
Brandon, how many diamonds are you giving this?
Based on what it is, I'm gonna go 3.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah. I mean, it's... If somebody gave this to me and told me it was just an apple, a cinnamon apple cider, I'd have been like, great. Because that's what it tastes like to me. Knowing that it's a hard apple cider, I think it just failed. Like, it's truly just missing that carbonation. Like, like the bubbles do stuff that people don't understand.
I hope I remember what you just said because that is for sure the beginning of the episode.
The bubbles
do stuff. It's true though. The carbonation does like open up things and
it's a play on your palate too, like with the bubbles and stuff. Like. This isn't a double chunk chocolate cookie.
Okay.
But this is.
It's back. It's more like a chicken bake. Yeah. We're malting hour guys.
I've never had
of course we're going to have a bourbon barrel-aged drink on our episodes.
Yeah, and we just made one.
We didn't.
Yeah, so I'm going with 3 just because I feel like.
Sure.
If they added the carbonation, I feel like that would up this a little bit more. Because even then, like, to drink this and somebody telling me it's 6%, I'm hard
almost
impressed.
Isn't it almost? No,
it just says 6.
Yeah, the other ciders that I have are.
I'm hard pressed to be like, this is 6%. Like this.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go 3.45.
Ooh, look at you, fancy pants.
I like big butts, and I cannot lie. With this cider, like, I appreciate that it's something different for a hard cider. As far as, like, something that's not being carbonated. I think it would be better if it was carbonated. But the flavor is good enough for me. And I mean that in, like, the most positive way. Like, it's, like, good enough. I don't, like, not poo-pooing it. You and I have both made our own hard ciders. I've liked both of our hard ciders. Yeah. I use like cherry concentrate juice in mine for the most part when I do it. And your hard cider is just fantastic. That's kind of what I'm like in my head using as what's the word I'm looking for? The
benchmark?
Thank you. Sure, benchmark works. Like that's where I'm starting with your hard cider because I think where your hard cider is like. So I should also say that I'm not sure how long that he has been like doing wine or hard cider, but he started like us with kits. He got a winemaking kit, and just like us, it started with a kit, and it turned into an obsession, and now they're doing their own thing. Like they have regulars that come in there all the time. I should have bought another bottle of wine because that would have been fun to try. The cherry wine was my favorite, but I feel like because of what they're doing and what they're sorry, dude, what they have, I like it. I would get it again. Stop me by. I do want to try just the regular one, and I think for the time being, the 3 that I have left, I think I'm going to use them for cocktails. I'm going to maybe do like an old fashioned or something else.
Yeah.
So 3.45. Very good.
Okay.
Tasty. And it's a nice place, and they were really nice and kind and gave me a bunch of other free samples.
That's all that matters.
As long as you have free samples, you're good in my book. Brandon, do you want to save the beer for last?
Sure.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, just because the glass is apple tainted.
True. I think it makes more sense for us to do the cherry hard cider first.
Okay.
I'm going to pass it to you. So when I went to the apple orchard now, mind you, the week before I already went to an apple orchard. But I needed more apples, baby. I just needed Michigan apples. So while Diamond did not have the you pick, the next day in the town over, Lehman's orchard did have you pick. And it was very interesting. There was apples on one side that you can get, and then apples and fruit on the other side of the road that you could get.
Okay.
I was going to pick some blackberries, but I would have to have walked like way down the aisles that they have where like the trees are and then the blackberries are in the middle. There was a lot of bees. And I was like, no, thank you. And a bunch of apples on the ground. Did not want to roll my ankle and then have to drive back to Chicago. So once I purchased my apples, they had peaches too.
You want to talk about rolling your apple or your ankle and driving?
Let's not talk about that. I don't know what you mean. Neither one of us has ever done that before. I shouldn't have said that. Fuck. So they had a bunch of wine in there in their little shop. It was a great place. Like it was nice. They said there was peaches across the street. Did not see peaches. Millions of peaches. Peaches for me.
I don't even know when peach season.
I don't know either. But I was like, oh, that would be cool to get a couple of peaches. But I didn't see it anywhere. And you know me, I'm not gonna ask like, where are your peaches?
For me,
inside their little shop, there was a bunch of wine.
Okay.
A bunch of apple cider vinegar, and then a bunch of like fruit syrups that they made. And then there was
that's nice.
So not only these are the 12-ounce cans. Like I just saw, based on the different apples that they have, it looked like they had like one that was called Golden Rush. One was just called regular apple. It looked like it was based on different apples. Mm-hmm. The 2 that stood out to me that I really wanted to try was the cherry, the one that we're about to have, and then a bourbon barrel-aged version of just the regular cider. They also had like 22-ounce bombers of cider.
Okay.
Kind of regret not grabbing something else and maybe just doing like a mix pack where I could have done, we could have thrown in some ciders for October to try, but these are the 2 that stood out and I'm standing by it.
No, that's okay.
Hey, thanks, man.
I've taken a sip.
What do you think about the aroma and taste?
So the aroma, I'm getting...
There's still some cinnamon in my cup.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm necessarily getting cherry, but I'm getting a lot more sweetness in the aroma.
Yes, this is not a dry cider by any means.
But super juicy. And I think I'm getting more cherry on the tongue. And I will say right off the bat, I like this better than the last one.
Sure.
There's more flavor. I enjoy the carbonation.
Yes. And it's not like heavily carbonated either.
Let's say what the ABV on
6.8. Which again, I'm like, when I opened it up last night, I was like, this is a 7% hard cider. I was trying to take it easy.
Yeah, and so I'm getting at the back end, I don't want to say booziness, but I'm tasting there's alcohol in it. I can more than the last one. I can tell like this one's got some heft to it. Yes, tasting alcohol or whatever is it's probably not the right term to use, but I'm getting that there's
something there.
Yeah,
especially like the back of the tongue there.
Yeah,
I don't want to say bitterness either, but
because it's not.
It's not bitter, but it's like there's alcohol.
Oh, indeed. Yeah, but it's fantastic. Very well done. I don't know. Are the cherries from their orchard as well?
Yes, because they also had, I don't know how much it was as far as like fluid ounces. It wasn't very big, but they had like pure cherry juice. Your dad? They had pure cherry juice concentrate, and it was like $34. And it was, nobody can see this, I'm showing Brandon. Probably like if I was holding it in my hand like this, if I was making a C.
Is it like an 8-ounce, 10-ounce jar or something?
I wanted it so bad though.
Dude, and like
Just pure cherry juice like that. So,
just like the applications for that.
yeah,
Like,
it's insane.
you know. So like in my head now,
Get out of your head, dude.
totally away from the cherry juice stuff, but like I've been trying to think of things to do for Christmas because we host Christmas Eve at my house every year.
I've never been invited. That's crazy.
Dude, you've always been invited.
Fuck.
You just always got plans.
Oh, he's right.
So like this year, like I was trying to think of like, okay, what beer can I brew? What beer can I brew? Because I'm going to take these old Irvings off. I think one of them's just about done. So I'm going to plan a weekend to just, we used to juice or something. I don't know.
I can join you.
And so I'd been thinking about doing a beer, and because I really would love to brew again.
Yeah, I'm. By the way, I'm also in the same boat. Like,
but then I was like, oh man, a good fucking cocktail, like, so
like put a cocktail in.
Oh yeah.
Ooh.
So I really have been thinking towards like an old fashioned, like.
Not opposed to that. Double Clutch has one on tap.
Yeah. So I really kind of want to do that. So I think that might be the way I go.
I am taking the 2 days after Christmas off, so if you need someone to come by to hang out with,
Yeah,
that
I'm off.
Thursday
I'm
and
off all
Friday.
week. So
Yeah, I'm only going to work the
And
2 days. So
the in-laws will be in town.
that sounds like
I think they're coming in
great
on
time.
Christmas Day. So
Nice.
yeah,
I'm sure I can swing that. Anyways, yeah, if you do that,
you're reminding.
let me know.
Anyways, but like, yeah. So the cherry juice thing, I was like, man, just making like a cherry old fashioned, something like that.
Hell yeah.
Oh,
That'd be fantastic.
yeah.
Anyways, back to this beer.
Yeah.
Or cider. As far as like ciders go, I feel like this hits everything that I'm looking for in a hard cider. It's not a lot of carbonation. It's like that. Let me take one more sip to remember.
No, it's the perfect.
It's like the little bubbles. you
Yeah,
know?
and that's
It's
what
great.
you want because, to me, cider should be reminiscent of champagne,
Yes. There's similarities.
but with a little less carbonation because there's some pretty hefty
Yeah.
champagnes and there's some pretty light ones. But this is like on the light end of a champagne, carbonation wise. The apple comes through, the cherry comes through, the sweetness is there.
And it's not super sweet. Like, it's not like,
Yeah.
here's like, some ciders, not hard ciders, but regular cider can be pretty sweet. Like, I love getting the half gallon of cider, but it takes me forever to finish it. And sometimes I can't.
Yeah, and that's my problem with brewing ciders. Like, like if I'm brewing in 5-gallon batches, it's like, God, like
I think you need to experiment with like,
I gotta do smaller batches.
well, not even. I mean, if you wanted like, yeah, probably a smaller batch, or maybe do a smaller batch where you experiment with trying to make it more of a drier cider instead of it being sweet. The way we do it, though, if you go back and listen to the episode of making cider and breakfast beers, that was like way early on, like in the 30s, I think.
Yeah,
One of our most popular episodes, which is crazy.
yeah.
It's
the first time we did like a live.
Yeah, that was fun. But we use like 100% apple juice for that. So I'm
Yep.
wondering, might need to get like, I don't know, find a place that does like a drier cider, or my brother-in-law, Mike, still has the apple press. And
He has an apple press?
Yeah, he's got the apple press.
What the fuck does he have an apple press for?
We were going to try and do cider, and we never did it.
I like how he just commits and just buys shit.
I'm going to do this, and then we never did it. So something to think about maybe around next August and September when apples start coming out. We need to do some research on what apples are good for a cider.
Yeah.
So overall, Brandon, how many pints of cherry juice are you? That's awful. How many cherries are you giving this?
I'm gonna go 3.8. I think.
I like that. I'm going to join you in that because I think 3.8 is again, I should have said this in the beginning. Like, I don't drink a lot of hard ciders.
Yeah.
This is the time of year, though, where it's like, oh, that sounds good. I like regular cider. I do like apple juice, but not enough to ever buy it and drink it. If your son has apple juice boxes lying around, I might steal one and drink it. That's about it.
He doesn't. We've got some Mott's in the fridge, though. Like a
big...
big...
Mott's. Is it Mott's apple juice, though?
Oh, yeah. But he's got Mott's for tots, so...
So I can't drink it is what you're telling me.
No, you could, but it's like, I've had it, and it's like, this is kind of... It tastes watered down.
It's way less sweet and less concentrated.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
It's got more vitamins pumped into it. And
so we should be drinking. You and I should be drinking it, probably.
Should be drinking it.
Maybe we should make cocktails with that.
Ooh.
Tons of vitamins, also a little bourbon. Not a bad idea. And that's how we do it, folks. All right. Well, we've got one more cider to go and then a beer. I think this is a really good time for us to listen to a commercial because nothing says, hey, beer show, take a break. Here's a random-ass commercial based on your algorithm. A great intro. If I open that and then you...
Innovation is at the heart of every Polestar car. And their electric SUV, Polestar 3, is no different. From the innovative infotainment system to its head-turning design, Polestar 3 is for drivers unwilling to compromise. That means merging a spacious, luxurious interior with the torque and handling of a sports car. Visit Polestar Columbus today for competitive lease offers. And book a test drive for Polestar 3 at polestarcolumbus.com.
Here, care has no limits. It's compassionate, personal, powerful, and provided to anyone and everyone who needs it. Here at Mount Carmel, care honors everything that makes us who we are, so that you can take the first step to a healthier, happier life. Here, exceptional care is provided by all of us, for all of you. Learn more at mountcarmelforyou.com.
And we're back!
Welcome back, everybody. This episode is 3 ciders and a beer because I set my ass back up to Michigan. Why? Because I love it up there. There you go, buddy. I don't know. I think there's enough in there. I think I poured well. I was basing it off of how we did the last one. Yeah, that looks pretty good. So we are still drinking Lehman's Orchard hard cider. The last one was the apple cherry hard cider. This one is the bourbon barrel-aged cider, which also comes in at 6.8%.
How is it 6.8%?
I don't know.
Like, barrel aging usually knocks it up a little bit.
I'm getting a cider, but there's something else there.
Children. There's children in this beer.
Okay. Did you take a sip yet?
I did.
Don't say children. It's because you're watching the...
Yeah, that's the only reason I said it.
All right. I'm going to give you my first impressions first.
You do. You do.
I get a bunch of cider up front, and then there's something in the back.
Yeah.
There's also something that I feel kind of warming in my chest from that one. Could just be because of the acidity of apples, which I know is low, but, you know, I tend to have heartburn sometimes or acid reflux. I wouldn't say that this is bourbon barrel aged, but there is a little bit of that. Remember when we did the first cider and then we added the Jim Beam to it? And we talked about, we talked about this with hard cider. There's like that little bit of like bitterness in the back of my tongue.
Yeah.
I'm getting that with this.
Yeah, a little bit.
But it's straight up a hard cider.
Yeah, I'm not getting... I don't know. I don't feel like I'm getting a lot of barrel character.
Yeah. But there's a difference. There's a different aroma.
Indeed.
Again, this also isn't cherry, though. Yeah. But I didn't get a lot of cherry on the... I mean, I got a little cherry on the last one. Got a little cherry on the cherry cider. Yeah. But the flavor is just kind of like... it's a hard cider with something in the way back that is very small. If you would have poured this for me and not told me it was a barrel-aged cider, I would say, oh, it's a hard cider with a little bit of bitterness at the end.
Yeah. Yeah, I wouldn't have known either.
I will say, it's a very good hard cider, though.
Agreed.
Apple-wise, the juice is good. And...
Well, and that's what... And before I even took a sip, like... knowing that this is like clocked in at 6.8% and the other one was 6.8%.
I thought the same thing. Like, why is that?
How, like, there's, in the beer world, very seldomly does your ABV not go up.
Well, and also they use higher alcohol for those as well, specifically.
Yeah. Well, yeah, well, because that's important because...
And how long they sit in the...
Yeah. So, I mean... So...
Even, by the way, even burping, you know, you can kind of get an idea of...
Bourbon barrel, like, my question, like, I would love to talk to them and be like, how'd you do it? Because maybe they just wash it in a bourbon barrel.
Maybe it's just kind of been there for a little bit.
Yeah.
We've got enough time from when this episode actually comes out to maybe even reach out.
Yeah, I mean, I would be really curious to know, like, what the bourbon barrel process is. Because it says bourbon barrel hard cider. It doesn't say bourbon barrel aged. But
good point.
That could just be semantics. And, like, then it's, you know.
And there were I did see some barrels outside of where you pay for everything.
Yeah.
I could have been more proactive and asked questions, but the kid that was taking care of us only really knew about the apples, and he did a great job. Somebody asked him a question about the fruit. He was like, you know, I really don't know much about the fruit, but I can tell you everything you need to know about the apples that we have out there. So kudos to him. He was very nice.
Yeah, so, because I've had, I forget. Oh, Mittens from when Virtue did Mittens.
Oh, yeah.
Like, that was, like, you got barrel, you got apple, you got everything.
I feel like there was another barrel-aged cider.
And I'm sure we've had more, but
I was more curious to see how, like, bourbon. Again, I mean, we did add bourbon to one of the ciders, so I was just, you know, curious. Like, ooh, I want to try this.
Yeah,
I don't regret it. It's a good hard cider. Maybe I try this in a cocktail as well. I don't know. If I can drink it straight up.
If it didn't say bourbon barrel on it,
yeah,
I couldn't have told you that there was bourbon barrel in it.
Same here.
Yeah.
It's very interesting. It's a very nice cider. That's the unfortunate part, because now I'm going to ask you, Brandon, how many barrels are you giving this?
Because it's supposed to be a bourbon barreled hard cider, I'm going to go 3.2.
I'm going 3 on that aspect.
I almost went 3, but
If, again, I know you don't like this, if I was just going on the cider aspect of it, though, because I feel like this is the closest thing we're going to get to their regular cider.
Yeah.
I give it like a 3.7.
Okay.
Just the cider part.
Yeah.
But because it says bourbon barrel aged and we're not, or bourbon barrel, not getting a lot of that bourbon barrel, it's definitely like a 3.
Yeah.
Just missing it. But it's delicious.
Yeah, no, I agree.
I'm interested. I really do regret not buying a mix of the cans, and we could have just done a whole episode on this place. But between the two, hey, I'm not going to kick these out of bed. If somebody offered me these hard ciders, I wouldn't be like, no thanks.
Yeah.
Both of these are very tasty.
Yeah, very good.
I like it. I was surprised how much wine and cider was within the small amount of traveling that I did in lower Michigan.
Oh, dude, that's like their forte, apparently.
I didn't realize that. I just go up there for breweries.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like, there's a market, and people know that that's the market, and they're trying to get into it. So
I like it. I mean, like I said, especially this time of year, grabbing some hard cider, perfect time.
Yeah.
Perfect time to give it a try. I do tend to lean towards cherry ciders. I just like, that's what I make. There's just something about cherries and apples.
Cherry's good.
Oh my god, the ciders though are really getting me. This is the most I've ever burped on an episode, and I apologize, everybody.
He apologizes.
It's very sorry. All right. So, the very last thing that we have is a beer from... I really hope I'm pronouncing this town properly. Cassopolis, Michigan Brewing. So this is Cassopolis Brewing. Apparently, it had taken some time for them to open, I guess.
Okay.
Because they had T-shirts up that said it was worth the wait, 2024. So they had just opened up this summer. So I knew nothing about it.
Nice.
I had happened because I knew where I was staying, and I was like, there's got to be a brewery nearby. This place just opened up. Nice little place. They had 4 beers on tap. They had a light lager. I forget how they described it. It was maybe like a first runnings or something like that. I know that's not correct, but they had a light lager, regular lager, a porter, and a West Coast IPA.
Okay.
As much as I wanted to do the porter, because you know me, love me a good porter, I was like, let's judge this on the West Coast IPA.
Ooh.
And this is Noseplugger IPA, which is 6.9%. We're saying
our glasses for this one.
It's all right. I'm going to talk about this place real quick. My experience there. It was very cool. It's a small place, but they have a giant patio. They had some TVs on, not all over the place, but the small town Michigan, people are going to be watching college football on a Saturday, and that's exactly what was happening. Everybody was super nice, and servers going in and out of the kitchen, I got to see the inner workings of their kitchen, and it looked like a serious kitchen. I'm talking about, chef and line cooks with like the black coats on and everything, and the food menu, they had a lot of small plates. Looked very good. The first thing they had on there was Brussels sprouts with balsamic like glaze on top of it, just like how Old Irving has. Ooh, there was my Old Irving mentioned. You already did one, so I had to do an Old Irving mention as well. But I decided to go with the pizza because I saw the pizzas coming out, and I'm pretty sure it's like I don't know if it's a wood fire pizza or they had a pizza stone, or they just, even if they have like what you can have at home, like an oni or one of those things. Pizzas look great, so I got one that had pepperoni, and it wasn't like pepperoni slices, like the circles. It was like cut up like strips of pepperoni and fresh tomato on there.
Nice.
My only, it wasn't huge, but it was perfect size. My only problem with it is that I think they threw the basil on while it was baking.
Ooh.
So
burnt
basil. It wasn't burnt, but it definitely got charred. Maybe they threw it on at the end. So, I mean, it wasn't bad.
Yeah.
But I like, when basil goes on a pizza like that, I like it to be fresh. But it was crispy, so it was kind of cool for the texture. But there was yellow and red, like, tomato slice on it. So there was like 4 slices on this little pizza.
Okay.
It was actually really good. I really liked it. Everybody there was really nice. And I'm going to pour this. I already have my opinion on it. Now, I did have to travel with this unrefrigerated. Ooh, but hear that? I think we're okay. It stayed cold. Brandon, I want you to give me your impression on it. Also, I'm going to let you keep this here to drink this week if you would like.
Oh, great.
Got plenty of Coors Light by me. If you don't want it, I'll take it back, but we'll be the judge of this after we finish this beer.
Poured a hefty pour.
That was pretty good. Because they still smells good. I didn't know that they had just opened this summer.
Yeah.
I was hoping that maybe they had like some 4-packs to go, and I said, do you guys have anything to go? And like, we can do a growler. And I was like, okay, I'll do that. I figured go with the one beer that I tried from there. I take that back. I did try the light lager as well. I had a little sample of that. It was good. It was definitely a lighter lager. I want to say it still came in, I think, between 4.5% to 5%. It was very bready, and that's not a bad thing. Just not something you expect from a light lager.
Yeah.
It had like a taste of a regular lager, but lighter. Does that make sense?
Yeah. No, I get it.
So I got this. It's an amberish brown color. This looks like a good old-fashioned IPA from back in the day. Let's give a sip. That held up to me.
It's good.
I would say also take another sip or some water because we just had cider. So it's kind of messing with my palate and it's not ice cold, so I apologize.
Yeah, it's okay.
I was really impressed with this beer.
I like it.
Yeah, it's a good beer, especially for a place that just opened up. And my first impression was this beer, which once I saw it, or once I tried it, I was like, this is the beer that I want to take home.
Yeah. What's do you know the ABV on it?
6.9 according to the tag.
Okay. It feels like it would be heavier.
Yeah, it's got a nice malty body to it.
Yeah. No, and
like you're always someone who's good at like pointing out maltiness and IPAs, and like when I tried it, I was like, I think Brandon might really like this one.
Yeah, and I was gonna say it's got it's got a huge malt body, and it's it's bordering on breadiness, but I feel like it's not quite there. There's some bitterness that comes through. I don't know if this falls into the category of a true West Coast IPA, but it's a fucking great beer.
Yeah, I feel like...
I mean, again, we're dealing with semantics here now.
Yeah.
We're dealing with the
bitterness
growler trailing.
Yeah.
It's been a week. Like,
when I had it, I gave this a 4, a solid 4. And
okay.
I said, delicious West Coast IPA. Glad I stopped here. It wasn't ice cold, but it was colder than this.
Yeah.
And I feel like it just reminded me of like when I first got into craft beer.
yeah, and it feels like mouthfeel. It feels like super thick.
Yeah, like there's a nice mouthfeel
Huge,
to it.
yeah, huge
Not like,
body,
thick body.
Yeah.
Like, not like thick stout. Body,
Yeah, but no, it's there. It's hefty, and it's fucking good.
There, some of the reviews they had on Untapped was, I almost only want to drink this one when I'm here. My check-in, delicious West Coast IPA. Glad I stopped here. Somebody else just gave it a 3.75. There's a 4. There's a 4. And it's a brand new facility. And like I said, it's very nice little place. Everybody was super cool. Too many bees outside, so I had to come inside. Especially when I got food. I was like, this is going to be a bad idea. They'll swarm me. I will say that this is a place that I think it's very cool that if I find myself back up that way, I would like to see where they land in a year.
Yeah.
Like I said, they had 4 beers on tap, and they had some other things as well. Maybe some guest pours or something. But overall, I was really pleased with this.
Yeah, no, I agree. Really well done. It's got a perfect balance of bitterness. That's the one thing now that's like maybe not that much West Coast, because the maltiness is like so prominent.
So that's what I think about when it comes to West Coast IPAs, is that there's a big malty body, but then there's a big
bitter,
yeah. So that's where
I think we're missing that.
I do think that maybe, although I would say that if we had like sweet cider, the bitterness would pop up more.
Yeah.
I didn't feel that way about it when I had it on draft fresh, but I have that now. And again, whether it's from the travel, from 2 days ago or whatever, overall still a solid West Coast IPA.
Yeah, not taking away from this beer.
Yeah.
It's very much a very good beer.
And I think when someone says, hey, my mic is still working. I muted it, but I brought it back. Brought it back. Sorry about the last episode, or not the last episode, but a couple episodes ago. For someone to say or for a brewery to say hey, we're doing a West Coast IPA, especially in these days of hazy IPAs and actually just hazy and juicy IPAs.
Yeah.
If you're gonna do that and someone orders it, it better be a West Coast IPA. And I'm not disappointed with this at all. Color, aroma. Could the bitterness be a little more bumped up? Sure.
Yeah.
But overall, very tasty. I like this beer.
Agreed.
How many dying wasps are you giving this? Because all these wasps were going crazy.
I'm gonna go 4.
I'm gonna stick with my 4.
Yeah.
As well. It was very good. I would like to head back up that way and see what else they have to offer, because it's a very good beer. And God, if they can do a West Coast IPA like this, I'm wondering how good that porter would have been.
Yeah.
I wish I could have got a crowler, because I didn't want I didn't want 2, growlers of beer.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
could do growlers of beer.
maybe next time there,
We'll just drive up there together, me and you.
Do
Tony
it.
and Brandon.
Fuck Clark.
Go to the same Airbnb that I stayed at. You and I can swim in the pool together. Go in the hot tub together. There was kittens.
What? Kittens in hot tubs?
I know how to pick Airbnbs.
What?
Yeah. It's pretty great. Also by a cornfield, so I thought maybe the children of the corn were going to come and get me at one point.
Maybe they did.
Maybe they replaced me, and I'm telling you here on the episode.
Oh, God.
He's going to die. Brandon, if we had to rank these, as we sometimes do, not talking shit about any of these, but for the evening, how are you ranking everything, buddy?
I'm going this beer that we had first.
Yes, I'm with you.
I'm going to go the cherry cider second,
You going with yours there as well?
The other cider.
The Diamond or the barrel?
The barrel cider second, and then the other one last.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm with you on that. We basically just went backwards order from how we drank everything.
Yeah.
You go and save the best for last.
And you did.
And again, I thought everything was delicious. There's nothing here that was not bad. I'm very happy with everything that I purchased. Got that cherry wine. We gotta, we talk about things that we need to do.
Yeah, sneak that into an episode.
I still have root beer brats to eat with you. Now I got cherry wine to drink with you.
Yep.
Everything I bring from our neighboring states, I'm thinking about you, buddy.
Thanks, man. I appreciate that.
Always, man. You're always in my heart. When I was in the hot tub, I was like, wish Brandon was here. Oh, man. Yeah, so I would say something about Great American Beer Fest, but that episode has already come out, and hopefully it was a good time. I can't imagine it not being a good time, right?
Yeah, unless one of us dies.
Am I going to die there?
You might. I don't know.
I don't see you dying. I see maybe it's me.
Yeah, probably.
So if I did die, hey, everybody, this has been awesome. And as always, Brandon, I love you.
Love you too, man.
And we'll see everybody next week. Unless I'm dead, it'll just be Brandon.
Bye!
This has been The Malting Hour. Be sure to follow us on all social media by searching The Malting Hour and at themaltinghour.com. You can also follow us individually on social media. Brandon can be found on Instagram as BMDub81, on Twitter, BDub81, and on Untapped as BDubDrinksBeer. Tony can be found on Instagram and Untapped under Ace of Help Chicago, on Twitter, The Ace of Help Chicago. Clark can be found as Clarkowski on all three. Dan can be found on Instagram as hip__hops and hip hops on YouTube. Be sure to subscribe, like, and rate the show on your preferred podcast listening platform. Until next time, cheers from all of us at The Malting Hour.
Are you looking for a Columbus car dealership built on tradition and trust? Buyers Auto has been family owned and operated since 1897, evolving from horse-drawn carriages to the horsepower of today's leading vehicles. We're known for our new cars, but we also offer an extensive inventory of pre-owned vehicles that meet our rigorous standards. And with that comes peace of mind. Discover the value of a buyer's pre-owned vehicle. Visit us in person or shop online at buyersauto.com. Come see why it's better to buy at Buyers. Are you looking for a Columbus car dealership built on tradition and trust? Buyers Auto, family owned since 1897, offers top, new, and pre-owned vehicles. Visit us or shop online at buyersauto.com. Come see why it's better to buy at Buyers.